Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright. Halloween has appeared. Yep, a few hours ago, all of these skins appeared, and we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be the best investment this week, which of these skins potentially might give us some of those delicious looking profits. Right, so before we get started on anything, we need to point out that this is a holiday themed Rust store. With the likes of Easter, Halloween, and of course Christmas, if the skins during those rush stores are too gimmicky for those holidays, they tend to struggle. This is something you need to be aware of. So, please understand, if I don't talk about all the skins today, there's a very good reason. If they appear to be a little bit too gimmicky for Halloween, specifically, then I just don't really imagine it's going to retain its value. It's unfortunate, but just kind of visualise this. Once Halloween has come and gone, are people going to still want to use the super gimmicky Halloween skins? Think like this. Are people going to want to use Halloween theme skins during December, March, June? Maybe they do. Maybe they do. Some of them might look really, really cool. But some of them, if they've got pumpkins all over it and whatnot, I'm just pointing out things that I've noticed over the past few years, keeping an eye on the likes of all of these holiday themed skins. I know how this usually plays out. Not all skins that we see right in front of us are super gimmicky for Halloween, but there's definitely going to be some potential issues. Go look at previous Halloween Rust stores from the past. All you got to do is click the top right here in scm.app and look at all the ones from October time, and you'll notice quite a lot of those Halloween skins aren't really holding up very well. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So just wanted to point that out to all of you. So let's now get started. What's looking to be very interesting? Well, I have to talk about the fridge from hell, don't I? Another From Hell skin has appeared. Mr. Sir Q, you've been getting a lot of these this year, haven't you? Look at all of these. Look at all of them. Damn. Only the large rabbit box isn't a From Hell skin. So anyway, let's talk about the From Hell collection, because you might have noticed a bit of a problem. A lot of it is in the negative. This is unfortunate. But it's a weird pattern that I'm fully well aware of. For some strange reason, during the year, From Hell skins tend to suffer. When we get to like post-Christmas time, I'm talking like January time, suddenly everybody wants to buy it. Suddenly, the prices of all of these match up to their Rust store price and a fair bit higher. I know it sounds silly, but I keep seeing it happen all the time. So I just wanted to point this out. Whilst it looks like it's low at the moment, it very likely will be bouncing all back up again. We should also consider that, right now it's the worst time for Rust skins. It's, October time, autumn, fall, seasonal dip. You get the idea. October tends to be the absolute worst time for Rust skins, and, well, these clearly are suffering at the moment. But we do need to talk about what makes this so special, because we haven't had a marketable fridge skin in like 3 years. We'll just quickly confirm that. Yep. So the fridge was a deplorable for a long time that wasn't getting any marketable skins for a very long time. Now, you might point out, what about the Trust and Rust one? That was a charity skin that was sold in a Rust store, but all proceeds went towards charity. That was not marketable. That was not tradable. Cool looking skin, but it wasn't tradable or marketable. This one right here is. So, have you taken a look at this? Have you seen it in game and whatnot? This is a very cool looking fridge skin. When you look at it from the sides and whatnot, the other sides, you can see it's transparent when you look at it, but on the other sides of like the sides that you can see through, it's actually like opaque. You can't see through it. Sir Q, you did a very good job with this. It's very cool. It's very standout, and we now need to consider how many people are even using fridges. Yeah, maybe a lot more people are going to want to use fridges now because we got this. That's a bit of a joke, but do consider this: how easy has it been for people to be able to get an accessible and affordable fridge skin? Because when you look at all of these, like I said, we have not been seeing many marketable fridge skins in such a long time, that they're all fairly expensive. Not insanely, but probably to a point where people don't really want to offer too much money for these. Well, this is $2.49, which, okay, might not sound too much, but you don't know who you're talking for here. Like, some people can barely offer $1. I'm joking, but listen. With the likes of this, I am concerned at the amount of sales it potentially might end up at. I am concerned about the usage for fridges, and I am concerned with the From Hell collection. How likely is this likely going to end up going below its Rust store price? I'm considering it to being very likely. Alright? How far will it go? I don't think it'll be going too far below $2. I think it will be doing alright eventually, is my answer. Now, this, of course, is also an abnormal buy order. This is an abnormal skin. So we can do the abnormal buy orders, and we can look at it afterwards in terms of its support, and then we can make a consideration in regards to whether it's going to be okay to actually jump in and buy some. We did that quite literally last night, so of course, I'm sure you know that I have my abnormal builder videos that I put out weekly. Well, last night, we had the likes of the Abyss Hoodie and Pants. They sold in the Rust store for $1.99. We did the abnormal bilders last night. There was someone who put down a 100 quantity bilder of $2 on each of these, therefore making it perfectly fine to jump in and buy them. I don't imagine that guy's going to disappear anytime soon, and, well, you never know, the exact same thing might happen with the likes of this. Do you reckon we'll be getting more fridge skins being made now, considering that this was accepted? Please consider that. And then, well, if that does happen, then maybe this isn't so special anymore. So, this one's a fair bit awkward, but I can imagine it do it quite nicely, around January time. It's just, how much is it going to sell by Wednesday? And, well, how low could it potentially go? Because I have to really do consider that, and you do too. I'm getting the feeling that maybe I'm just going to stick with doing a buy order, but I have to take in consideration how in demand is this right now. I know it sounds a bit rambly, but there's a lot to worry about this. If you can remember last year, we had that rug, didn't we? We had the rug, and the funny thing with this is instantly after the Rust store rotated last year, when the one that this was in, it instantly shot up to $5, instantly doubled in price. Now, I don't think we're going to see something like this happening with the likes of this, because, with rugs you can put them all over the place, very useful, and of course glow in the dark, so that's also nice. With a fridge, you can't exactly put that everywhere, can you? So it doesn't really relate too well to the likes of that, but yeah. It's awkward, but I'm thinking maybe just a strong builder is going to be the answer. But I can see it being a very nice, profitable skin eventually, down the line, after a good few months. So yeah, I wanted to address this first because I know this was getting a lot of attention. So now that we're past with that, very cool looking skin. If you happen to like it, please consider buying it. Show your support to the skin creators. Keep them motivated to keep wanting to make more interesting skins in the future. But with the financial perspective, I'm cautious, but I can see interesting things in the future with it. Again, how many will this sell? So for now, let's just put that aside. Let's look at the likes of this furnace. Now, for a very long time, I haven't been super confident with furnaces. And just go take a look at all the furnace skins that we've had that came out this year. Look at this. How many of them are negative? Quite a lot. It's unfortunate. But do you notice something a little bit different with this in comparison to all of these? You also might notice it with the likes of the Abyss furnace. They have a very noticeable standout different colour compared to all of these other furnaces. A very noticeable neon light green, a very noticeable purple. And this is where I also want to bring up the point of, when you look at every single furnace skin, and we can search by most highest price, for example, we got a green light here from the Toxic Furnace. You got the ever so nice turquoisey green blue type of light from the Ghostly Flame. You got Abyss Furnace here, and of course now we have Spider Cocoon. Guys, all of these other furnaces that you see here emit an orangey or a red or yellowy type of light. Now, this is just something that you must be aware of. It's the actual interior of the furnace that you kind of see the colour from, not the actual light. The light that these furnaces give off will always be like a yellowy light. So, just wanted to point that out. But appearance-wise, you can clearly see if the light, or rather, if the emission layer stands out, if it's not like yellow or orange or red, they tend to do a whole lot better. I didn't make too much of a fuss about this earlier until I properly looked at it and I was like, oh damn, you're right, because someone brought it up to me. So please consider this. This Spider Cocoon furnace, which by the way does look very cool, and I will be honest with you, when you look at it, do you instantly think, oh yeah, that's to do with Halloween? I think it can kind of escape that. Now I must reiterate, it's not glow in the dark, but rather when you turn it on, when it's functioning, it has the emission layer, and that stands out very nicely. That is a very cool, unique design for a furnace skin. Jessin, Xenia Parrish, she did a wonderful job, and with the likes of that, I can imagine as time goes on, this is going to be a fairly well-liked skin that's going to retain its value and potentially in the future do very nicely. So, considering all of that now, right, do you feel more confident with that? Because like I said, with all the furnace skins that we had come out this year, you can clearly see there's a bit of a problem. But I will reiterate this once more. Back in 2022, I saw all of these skins suffering. They were all in the negative at one point. When we got to January 2023, pretty much nearly every single one of these was matching up to their Rust store price, and quite a lot of them were in the positive. So I am actually confident in this. And I'm pretty optimistic that it's going to be doing quite all right. So the next question is, how much will it sell? This is an abnormal skin. it will be marketable at an earlier time. We can use that to our advantage. How many will sell, and what prices might we offer for it next week? I'm actually thinking that I will be buying some of those, but again, we have to wait and see what it's going to look like next week. What if it does 30,000 sales? That would be something we'd have to question, wouldn't it? But then again, we're not seeing that many people playing at the moment, and I don't think too many people are involved in buying skins at the moment, so we shall see, right? But I'm optimistic. And like I said, if you like the skin, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it. Support the skin creator. They did a wonderful job with it, and, well, with the financial perspective, we've got to wait a little bit longer just to play it safe, right? So, awesome. Let's move on. Spiderweb rug. Never would I have guessed that this was going to be accepted. I thought that was taking it a little bit too far. No, Face Punch is fine with it. Okay, so yeah. That whole thing about, covering your window with a rug just so you can utilize transparency and whatnot. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good exploit. So, yeah, if you cover your rug over a window, you can utilize that, and if it's got transparency, like I said, you can look through it, and you might be able to spot people outside your base. They might spot you. They might try and shoot you, but because that transparent rug is in front of you, it will absorb most of the damage. You'll be safe. You could quickly seal up your window, and you have to defend your base now and whatnot. So this could be utilized very, very nicely. Also, just look at that. You can cover your entire base in cobwebs, just like normal with your normal home. But anyway, it's a cool looking idea. It's a very unique rug, but we also have to consider this. How many rug skins have we had this year? Quick guess. Go guess right now. All right, so right, we've got 7. We've had a lot of rug skins this year. Now, grass rug is actually holding up very nicely, so good to see you there. All of these aren't doing super well at the moment, but most skins aren't doing super well at the moment. We're going to probably see some of these go back up into the positive around January time, which would be nice to see. But with the likes of this, how many will it sell? And, well, it's also abnormal. So I'm optimistic for that. I can definitely see some way or form that this is going to be utilized to be, a little bit exploitative. And all it takes is one TikTok video, and suddenly everybody wants it. And that's what happened earlier this year, the likes of the heart rug. Because it was transparent and people utilized it exactly how I mentioned. So with the likes of that, it's abnormal. We'll do abnormal barders first. We'll look at it afterwards. We'll do the consideration whether it's going to be all right to jump in and buy it. You get the whole routine. You understand what I'm about. But again, if you happen to like it, show your support. Consider buying it. So that's a very cool looking skin. Congratulations to McQuarrie and Chakloon with that. Right, so we're kind of entering the territory now where I'm not super keen on the next skins I'm going to talk about, but I can still see some potential with them. So I'm going to mention the likes of Necro Tier 3. Number 1, the face mask. Whilst this is selling for $2, it's got some very cool looking transparency. I think that looks really funny. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Now, I made a bit of a joke earlier saying that this Tier 3 armour could be considered green armour. Maybe it could be very good camouflage. Well, not the face mask. It's got that massive brain on the back, and unfortunately that's going to stand out quite noticeably in grassy areas and whatnot. But if you happen to like what you see, if you think the transparency is really goofy and really funny, yeah, maybe that will work out all right in the future. Would you sit there and say it's very gimmicky for Halloween? I can't say no. But I can see that with the amount of transparency it has and whatnot, and the very goofy design, it actually might work out quite all right. So I'm very hesitant with this one. But at the very least, this right here is abnormal. We can wait. We can do abnormal borders, and then we can consider what to do next. I am a little bit hesitant with it, but I can see people actually liking this. We're probably never going to see another face mask skin like that ever again. Or at least for a very long time, because, we only see this much leniency for something like this every year around Halloween or Christmas time. I don't think we're going to get anything like that for a Christmas, Rustor. So, that right there, very goofy, but I'm just not 100% sure it's going to be fine afterwards. But this is where I also bring up the likes of the chest plate, because there's nothing, super outlandish with the chest plate. I really must get this across. That's just basically a perfectly pea green chest plate. Nothing else. No standout, annoying colours. You might sit there and say, oh, but it's got a little bit of red. From a distance, you're not going to notice that. That actually might be a case of, well, can you afford the Forest Raiders chest plate? Oh, no worries then. You can just use that instead. And I'll be honest with you, I can't really say no. I can't really sit here and say definitively that's what everybody's going to think. But all it takes is, again, another TikTok video of a guy sitting there saying, I know a budget Forest Raiders option, and then they put this out, and then, yeah. So maybe not the face masks for budget Forest Raiders, but I can see the chest plate. So, yeah, and it's only 99 cents. I'm not going to sit here with full confidence and say that, but I could see it being utilised in such a way and potentially being mentioned in the future. So, very cool, goofy, transparent design. I give that a +1. And potentially something that you might be able to afford to hide around in the grassy areas. That's up for you to consider. But again, don't have to rush into anything. We'll wait it out till Wednesday. We'll do the abnormal bilders and whatnot. And then, yeah, you get the idea. And then with that, we'll just have to take into consideration how many sold and then feel like, question if we want to jump on that. All right, sounds good? Okay, so we do have the likes of Kraken Shell. And I have to bring up that Kraken Shell did do a very... so when we got the hoodie and pants accepted today, the Kraken Shell Tier 3 spiked demand, spiked in price, and we can show that off real quickly. But, here's the thing. We probably won't see that happen to the hoodie and pants anytime soon. 210 sold today. Wow. So $1.44 now. And what's this selling for? Just barely over $1, I believe. Yep. Oh, it's quite literally $1. And if I look at that, yeah, look at that. Look at that. But the problem is, we're not going to see anything like this happen to the hoodie and pants for at least maybe another year, when we potentially see Kraken Shell Tier 2 being submitted for Halloween 2024. Yeah, you probably don't like the sounds of that. So, whilst I like the full set, and I very much like the deep sea horror design, that's a very cool approach which nobody else even considered. So, City, very cool idea there. I just don't think this is going to retain its value. I could imagine it's going to basically behave exactly how these two did after last year's Halloween. And what happened to those? Well, just look at the history, and immediately went down, went up a fair bit post-Christmas time, went back down, down. Oh, look, there's a continuation. Spike in demand. So I get the feeling that I don't imagine it's going to retain its value. However... could there be the possibility that we will see a Tier 2 next year? Considering that we now have 2 core pieces, and City, well, how many acceptances do you normally get? Not many. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, itching for trying to make the Kraken Shell Tier 2 at some point next year. You never know, maybe they'll consider making it in November. Can't rule it out, but it could happen. But yeah, again, a smart buy order, wait a year, and then hopefully potentially flip them. Earlier in my stream, I have a viewer called Benji. He bought a whole bunch of Tier 3 Kraken Shell, over the course of the past year, at 30 cent euro, and he had a whole lot of them, and he's been flipping them now, and he's just made himself some pretty decent looking profits. So again, with a lowball buy order, you could pick up a whole bunch of these, wait till next year, and then yeah. But that's if we do see Kraken Shell Tier 2 being made and accepted. So if that doesn't sound super reliable to you, no point. So yeah, that one's incredibly iffy. Now, I don't really want to talk about the other skins because there's potential problems and whatnot. Now, you probably are asking me, Hedge, why aren't you talking about the Grim Farm Garage Door? It's too gimmicky for Halloween. There's just tons of pumpkins all over it and whatnot. I have to give it to Johnny Oldboy. Awesome looking skin. But it's too gimmicky for Halloween. Are you going to want to use that in December, March, June? You might. I mean, he might. You might love Halloween, but unfortunately, I've seen this happen many times in the past. This very likely will be going below its roster price pretty quickly. Plus, you also had to take into consideration the amount of garage doors that we've had this year. 16? Yeah, including the Charitable Rust one from last week. So, gimmicky. That's glow in the dark, and I know a lot of people have a stigma of that, so I can't trust that. LR300, unfortunately, it's the gun. And with the likes of this, I just don't think people respect the Zombo, and hunting bows in general just don't seem to be retaining their value. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, all right? I've seen it all happen in the past. I have to just kind of accept that, and I'm passing on the information to all of you. So the skins that I was positive with, I feel like they're going to survive the horrible holiday issue. But will their interesting features be what keeps them retaining their value, or will they potentially suffer? Now, we could take a look at last year's Halloween Rust doors, and you can see the current state of them, because when you take a look at all of them, do keep in mind it is October, so a lot of skins are suffering, but it's Halloween, and Look at that. And yeah, these two are doing all right now. It's not too hard to understand that, but like, where is it? Where's the Halloween joy? It's awkward, isn't it? So, Christmas, for example, people love to buy out Christmas skins in anticipation for Christmas. Halloween? Nope. I know, it's odd. Maybe things might change when October 23rd drops, because that's when we're getting the actual, if I go over to here, oh, I've lost it. All right, Rustified. Sorry, I got this wrong. I thought it was on the Rustified link. Oh yeah, props to all of you who bought some charitable Ruskins, but here you go. We're getting the actual in-game Halloween update being introduced for October 23rd. That'll be 7 o'clock in the evening UK time. Maybe suddenly everybody wants to buy Halloween skins on that day. So that's just in a few days' time. We shall see. But, yeah, it's awkward. But I've seen it all happen before, and I'm passing on the information to you now. So, with that, I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Congratulations to all the skin creators that got their skins accepted today, and best of luck to you and your investments. Have fun, enjoy the new skins, and look forward to next week, because if we quickly hop over to here, based on all the items that got skins accepted today, you could probably deduce what potential we might see next week. With 2 core pieces being accepted today, maybe we're going to see some primitive skins being accepted. Ponchos, burlap, who knows? We might potentially see some single doors, like sheet metal door or armor door, wooden door, maybe some double doors, because we only had 1 door accepted today, garage door. So start looking around, start making some considerations, and yeah, we shall see. So with that, once again, thank you very much for watching me, and best of luck to you and your investments.